Coach Sean here, and today we're making some healthy pumpkin protein muffins. It's spooky season, so that means we gotta take a pumpkin and shove it into everything, so why not start off with some delicious muffins? You don't wanna miss it. This is Coach Sean's Kitchen. If you're new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, consider subscribing, and telling a friend about Coach Sean's Kitchen. It's the single best thing you can do to help out any YouTube channel that you enjoy watching. Now, the very first thing we need for our pumpkin muffins is going to be some oat flour. So I've got my blender here, and then I've got a whole bunch of old-fashioned oats that I picked up from Costco. Come on, you guys know how I am. Costco, love you. Now, of course, you can buy oat powder if you want to, but since I've already got this big old box of oats lying around, I'm just gonna grind some up for myself. Be back in a jiffy. So there we are, and you can see that we've got a really nice oat flour. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure out just a little bit over a cup into my mixing bowl. And like most things with baking, remember, I don't wanna pack this down. I'm just gonna loosely let it fill up, and then I'll just level it off. And we'll save that for another recipe. Now the next thing we need is some pumpkin. Now you can make some fresh pie pumpkin and turn it into pumpkin puree. I actually think the can tastes a little better, and you got a better chance of this tasting better out of the can than your pie pumpkin from the store being in season. So we're gonna eyeball about a cup here. As always, measure with your heart. Now the next thing we're gonna add is some Greek yogurt. I'm going with the 5% milk fat Greek yogurt, but if you wanna use the 4, the 2, the 0, you certainly can. Just understand that fat is moisture, so if you cut out all the fat from a recipe, you may end up with a really dry product in the end. 2 large eggs. Still got it. Next up, we're gonna add some protein powder. I'm a big fan of MyProtein. It's my absolute favorite company to get all of my supplements. And if you use code SeanMyP, you can get 45% off your next order. I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below. Now, I'm using chocolate protein powder. You could use vanilla if you wanted that. Maybe if you had a pumpkin protein, you could use that as well. Next up, we're gonna add half a teaspoon pumpkin pie spice. God, I swear to God, that stuff's like crack. And then we'll finish with a little bit more cinnamon to round out our spices. Now obviously you can adjust these to whatever you want. If you wanted to add in some nutmeg, some more ginger, or maybe just double up on the cinnamon, it's your muffins, your life, you live it. Now we're gonna add our leavening agent. So here I've got baking powder and baking soda, and we're gonna use a little bit of each one. Good rule of thumb, baking powder makes things puff, baking soda makes things spread. So that's a good thing to remember if you wanna know why your cookies overspread or something puffed up too much. Now I'm gonna grab my spatchy spatch and we're gonna mix this up. Oh my God, it smells like white girl heaven in here. Now that I've given these a stir, I'm gonna add a few more ingredients, just a touch of salt and a little bit of vanilla extract. And last but not least, a little bit of honey or whatever sweetener you want, sugar substitute that you enjoy using in your baking. Do you like my honey? You know where I got it. Last thing I'll stir in are some Lily's chocolate chips. If you've never tried Lily's, you have to. It's like all the fun of chocolate, but sweetened with stevia, so it's not added with a bunch of sugar. Now I'm gonna stir in about half the chocolate chips that I want right now, and I'm gonna save a little bit for later so that I can sprinkle them on top once they're in my muffin tins. See my muffin tins? They're all festive and Halloween. Bottom says boo. So anytime I'm making muffins, I don't like to mess around. I'm gonna go with muffin liners, and I'm also going to spray the entire tray, the muffin liners, and the outside, because I don't want anything to stick. Aw. These ones say Happy Halloween. All right, I'm gonna hit them with a little non-stick spray for baking. Woo! Gotta snipe it. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and start dishing these in. You know the drill with muffins. We're looking for about 3/4 full. What am I doing? This is a rookie mistake. Ice cream scooper. Perfect tool for this job. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, beautiful. There we go. This is working so much better. And 12. I'll add a little bit more to a few of these guys. Now, last thing I'm gonna do is hit these with a few more chocolate chips just right on top. You never have too many chocolate chips, especially when you're using Lily's. Not sponsored, but if you guys wanna send me a bag of chocolate chips, I'll hype the out of you. These are gonna go into an oven for about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm gonna check them at 20 and see how they're looking. You know, a lot of times I get asked if I come up with my own recipes or if I just kind of look around the internet and find recipes that I think will work. And honestly, it's a little bit of both. So I got some extra batter here. I'm just gonna throw it on a cookie sheet. Maybe make it look like cookies and see what happens. I gotta stop eating the product, but it's good. Oh, but aren't you worried that you're eating raw egg and you might die? All good things in life carry risk. My prediction with these guys? I think the ratio of baking powder and baking soda is gonna be off a little bit, but hey, that's how we learn. We'll throw these on the bottom rack, and we'll see if maybe we have some pumpkin protein cookies in our future. Let's take a look and see how these bad boys turned out. So they ended up cooking about 20 minutes, and I think they look phenomenal. They actually look like really good muffins. Now, a good rule of thumb with muffins is this pan is still really hot, and there's a lot of moisture trapped in the bottom underneath those muffin tins. So I try to get them out of there as quickly as possible. Some people even say you gotta put them upside down in order to let them cool properly. I don't do that. I don't think it's as necessary, but I do think getting them out of there while they are still pretty warm is a vital step to a quality muffin. The aroma right now is wonderful. They kind of look like an oatmeal cookie where they have that fractured texture all over the top. Now, I know I'm supposed to wait for these to cool properly before I dive in, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pick out the ugliest guy, and I gotta try these. There we go. You look pretty ugly. Let's take a little bite. That tastes like fall. That is phenomenal. I actually really love the combination of the oat flour and the pumpkin. I think it works really well. Glad I added the honey. The sweetness is great. I bet if you substituted that for some maple syrup though, these would be a little bit better. Chocolate chips are a great touch. Love those in there. Super moist. As I mentioned earlier, fat is moisture, so using that full fat Greek yogurt definitely made a huge difference. And like always, when you eat these a little too early, just next to the paper. Make sure they cool completely. Can't stop, won't stop. You know how this goes. You gotta pick the pretty ones. Pretty one for the camera. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, leave a comment below, let me know how I did, and if you enjoy what I'm doing, be sure to subscribe. I want to thank you for watching this episode of Coach Sean's Kitchen, and as always, you can make anything homemade and healthy.